Alright, let me show you a little trick I learned working in power plants. Especially in the hot summer, you can put on these inspection gloves. Just get some of these real cheap cotton gloves. They're inexpensive. Before you put on your nitrile gloves or any gloves like this, whether you're working on cars or in industry. We used to do this every day at the power plants. I mean, it was just normal to put on a liner before you put on your gloves. This was long before, even automotive mechanics started wearing gloves. So anyway, it makes it real easy to put on your gloves, and also when it's really hot, summer day or something, your hands will sweat into the gloves and you won't be pouring out, water from underneath here. So it works pretty good. So a few years back I had an issue where wire was chewed through by a rodent, and he also chewed through the sound barrier up here. Now this is a replacement. This I went to the junkyard and bought this, and you can see some DIY crappy tape, shade tree mechanic kind of garbage, because it really didn't fit well. It came off a Toyota something or other, but anyway, it just wasn't the exact same fit. Avalon is a little bit wider than the Camry. I think I got it off a Camry, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to replace that. However, replacement is not going to be any fun, because I looked at Toyota's website to just order another one. Alright, I went online real quick and I understand what's going on. So the preface for this part number is the same for the Camry and the Avalon. It's the suffix. The Camry ends in 0020 and the Avalon ends in 0030, so there's a different part number. So the part that I have is sound insulation. It's not this foamy stuff here. It's going to actually have like a sheet of aluminum over it, you'll see. Yeah, but the stays, how do I attach it? So I have plenty of these rivets, if you will, these tree rivets, and we'll see what fits and what goes where. The replacement part that I have costs basically $70, and did I say the Toyota parts were anywhere, if I got for the Avalon, through the door delivered, anywhere from $250 to $350. So that seems like a lot to me for what I want to do. It's cosmetic mostly. Real quick, here is the new piece, or the replacement piece. Like I said, this backing comes off and it'll stick, but I don't want to stick it to the hood, and then it has a real thin foam center and then aluminum on the face, and this is called sound proofing or sound dampening material. So it is going to be shiny side instead of black, but I'm not worried about that. Let's get the old thing off here. Alright, gloves are off. Got my body panel tools. We're gonna pop this thing off here. Yeah, I was just wearing gloves. I needed to do some cleaning with some chemicals, so that's why I had them on. I won't need them for a while. Alright, let me get some of these rivets off of here. Alright, fun stuff. Get these off of here. They usually break anyway when you get them out. No big deal. Okay, and we're off, and of course, all of the rivets here, plastic rivets that held it on, they're going to be messed up, so I'm going to have to get new ones. I have plenty. Alright, well, there it is without the hood insulator, so I guess I'll inspect the windshield washer hose, make sure that's in good shape, no cracks or wear on that. So, I was right about going to the junkyard, but I was wrong about saying it was a Camry or something. It says BMW. So I guess I just took some measurements and went to the junkyard and got something that would fit. So there's a bunch of fuzz right there. I don't know if I was dealing with another nest or not. Doesn't really matter. Just go on with the replacement. Alright, well, if you have any problems with your windshield washer sprayer, the sprayer is underneath the hood right here. You might be able to see a little bit of the black end of the sprayer. If you come up here, this is a T connection. It's also a check valve. I learned that on my Volvo. So that's a check valve, and the way that works is it allows the entire line to be pressurized before it squirts on the windshield. That way both of them work. It's not like this one comes on first and then the other one comes on second. It just, after the line is pressurized, the check valve opens and out comes the juice. We've got a little connector here. The hose size changes. Check valve, spray nozzle goes to the other side, and there's a little check valve there too, which keeps fluid from running back, so it's always ready to go. There's very little air to eject out of the system when you pull the actuator back. And you know, it appears to the user that it's instantaneous, so that's how all that works. So anyway, cool stuff. Alright, so I decided to secure the hose. I put a piece of tape behind the check valve, and then I went over top of the hose here to just secure it in place. I'm not going to use the sticky part of the replacement. I'm going to put it in with rivets, with those plastic rivets. So let's get to work. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the material here on the side. My first cut is going to be the archway here because that fit fairly well. And what I'll do is I will just let that self-center, and I will go from there because the cutout for the support posts, I'll have to figure that out, customize that, or make it correctly. And then I can just mark and trim off the ends as needed. I'll let the hood decide where it needs to go. So I'll just mark and make my first cut. Alright, now I get to have fun with math because it was sold to me to be 60 inches, but it's 59. And then the hood measured across at this hook here, this catches the sound insulation, is 55 inches. So I need to be careful. Yeah, and I'm talking about the recessed area in here. I didn't measure to the edge of the hood. Just trying to fill in the recessed area. Alright, so that's 29.5 inches to the center, which I have covered up. And then 27.5 inches from the center back out to the edge there. There's my mark. And I marked it on this side. I probably should have marked it off on the other. But this is going to be a cut through where those hangers are. So the little slots that I cut out are going to go on this hook right here to hold it. So I'm going to do that, hook it on there, and I'm also going to put it on there upside down so I can write on the paper side and leave the shiny side up when I flip it over and put it on. Alright, well, I don't know if I'm doing it the hard way or the easy way. I decided to tape along the bottom and work my way up to the top instead of starting at the top and working my way down towards the bottom. So, you know, might have been easier to go from the top to the bottom, who knows. But that's what I'm doing. Alright, I decided to brace each side as I work on the other side. So that's all braced up. I have it taped so it won't slip. Hopefully that'll support the hood. We'll find out real quick because I have removed the clip from the other side, and I came up with the idea of putting a piece of tape over it so when it popped off it wouldn't fly off into outer space and never be found again. So I'm going to pop this guy off and work around it and go from there. Alright, the hood strut is down and I'm going to continue outlining my work around the edge there. And the other side, and that clip looks different from that clip. But anyway, that's passenger, that's drivers. Alright, well hopefully the fan's not making too much noise. We'll just get this together here. Put my clip on the strut here. It should just clip into position. Alright, since this seems so fragile to me, this aluminum foil here, I'm going to put some tape over where I'm going to put the rivets into, the plastic rivets, and help reinforce it. Alright, since the aluminum is so fragile, thin, and it tears real easily, I'm going to put a little spot on the push rivet here to help kind of hide any tearing that might occur. I might even take the paper off and let it stick too. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Okay, so there we are, all done, and it really wasn't all that easy for me. There's still a few spots that are just kind of okay. Did some cover up, didn't get it exactly perfect. Let's see if I can zoom in here. You can see there's what I did there is I put a little patch over the plastic tree rivet because the aluminum tore and I kind of wanted some reinforcement there. Now I could have trimmed back the black insulation so that just the aluminum was there, but the glue is on the black insulation and I didn't want to just keep dealing with it, peeling back and going back and forth. So, you know, there's some, you know, straightness issues. My cuts were a little crooked, you know, I used scissors. I did use a straight edge sometimes, but these lines aren't really straight. So anyway, that's my little project. It's a little bit better than what was there. And I didn't pay $250 to $350 to put in the official Toyota one. So that, as they say, is that. We'll see how it works, how it lives, whether the top of the engine punctures the aluminum foil, which is extremely thin. Here, let me show you. So here's the aluminum foil. On the one hand, you know, it's really strong, you know, but once it starts to tear, it just goes without an issue. So, you know, and then here's the glue on the back. It's pretty good, actually. You know, sticks really well. So anyway, there's my little project for about, with tax and all that other good stuff, about $75, I would say, was the raw materials. Labor was just over an hour. And this side over here, I had to worry about the hose going in there, so it's kind of cut a little short over here compared to the other side over there, which followed the seam think you can see that fairly well. So, again, that's my project, and thank you for watching.